Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new entitled people content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled My Parents-in-Law Went Nuclear for Not Offering My Brother-in-Law High Salary. I have a brother-in-law and let's call him conveniently Bill. He is 26 years, 2 times university dropout and never worked, even no summer job. But okay lad as a person, just a little bit Kevin. I work in large company and I have ability to create positions, hire and fire within my department. One day my parents-in-law asked me if I could find some work for Billy. Despite we did not need anybody in my department for additional unskilled labor, I went for 3 weeks through hoops and corporate gymnastics to create a position for him and justify it to my superiors why we need this position and why not create public job offer for it. I think I blew all my favors, and definitely owe some now. The day finally came when I received contract for him from our. He was supposed to be back office administrator or in a human language, clerk. The salary was set tiny bit under national median for this position, but I simply could not justify more. This weekend I brought the contract to Billy, who lives with his parents and present him the contract, and here we go. For perspective, $1,300 netto here is average living cost for a single person outside of city centers. Me. And here is your salary, the bottom line, which shows what will appear on your bank account after tax and social security. Billy. €1,300 is not much, is it? Me. It is entry position and your job is really just pulling from archive or archiving with occasional data entry. But see here, I pointed at benefits. Each year you are eligible for certain salary increase. Billy. I thought I will become your partner or something like that. Me. Well you going to be something like my assistant. When I need something, I will tell back office manager and she might assign it to you. His father joined in. Father. What? You are making my son your errand boy and for such pittance, this is humiliating. Me. Frankly he does not have. He interrupted me. Father. Everybody knows that you managers are sitting there all day doing nothing, so why my son cannot? Me. Listen, I cannot make him project manager in an engineering company. If it is about money, I can put a word for him into assembly hall. They always want people and salary is way higher, but it is really hard work. Father. Grease monkey? Like some Eastern Europe immigrant? Me. That's actually also quite bit qualified worker position. I meant like assembly worker on belts, hard job. But as I said better salary, including paid overtime with more vacation than I have and actually pretty decent chance of promotion. Father. Haha why don't you put him in coal mine right away then? Or better, make him. Me. We are done here. Billy. If you do not come tomorrow at 7 a.m. to my office, I will put this offer to Ministry of Labor for active job seekers and good luck with your CV. Father. And this married my daughter. Me. Door SLA. Topics he called afterwards with my wife. Your husband thinks so little of us that he wanted your brother to be his lackey for grand a month. Now I am happy you do not have kids yet, he would probably put them on farm field. If he abuse you let me know, I will knock his teeth out. Conclusion. He came today at 7 a.m. to my office to see those assembly belts despite wishes of his father, but with encouragement from his sister, my wife. Glad I could vent my frustration and anger with you here, dear Redditors, and at the same time amuse you. May your poop scrolling at work be fruitful. Too many people concerned about nepotism. Sorry I stole your entry-level unskilled labor job by giving a basic job to my slow Billy. The next story is titled Take My Kid Before I Give Her Up for an Adoption. But make sure you do this, and this. I started working with children when I was 11 years old in many different capacities: daycare centers, preschool classrooms, pre-K classrooms, Sunday school classrooms, and a home daycare. When I was 17 years old, a mom of an absolute brat of a 6-year-old asked me if I would babysit for her for a few days. I said no, because summer had just hit and I was dying to go to SeaWorld. I practically grew up there. Also because I just didn't want to watch the little brat. Apparently there was more going on that the mom didn't say, and the kid's dad, who was serving overseas in the military, called my dad and they talked man to man. His wife was at the end of her rope with their out-of-control daughter and wanted to put her up for adoption. That was his baby girl who could do no wrong. Could we keep her for the summer and he'd pay us when he got home the beginning of September? My dad, without asking me, said yes. Unfortunately, that meant that I was stuck with this kid all summer. All of her sudden, her mother, who showed no interest in the child, had a laundry list of demands. Take my child to SeaWorld with you. Take my child to the zoo with you. Take my child to see Disney on Ice. Take my child to the water park. Take my child to the mall and buy her a summer wardrobe. Her mom sent her over with a pair of short overalls, a t-shirt, and flip-flops for the entire summer, and the list went on and on. I would have said no to these people, but my dad got me into this and I was stuck now for the summer. Her dad told my dad he would reimburse for all expenses and a SeaWorld pass since I spent most of the summer there. I did my best to give this kid a good summer with her kicking and screaming every minute along the way. I took her everywhere, to the water park, the mall, the children's museum. My dad bought her a complete summer wardrobe and then a back-to-school wardrobe because she literally had no clothes at our house. We even had her behaving by the end of the summer, which was huge for this particular kid. I remember the turning point for her was one night I went and told my dad that I had been trying to get her to help clean up for a half hour and she was refusing. It was just a large bin of colored pencils that she had dumped out. I reluctantly cleaned them up alone because she wouldn't help and I wanted to get to bed. I got them all picked up and she screams that she is not going to bed and throws the bin against the wall and the colored pencils dump everywhere. So my dad walks over to her and she is wearing her short overalls and she picks her up by the back of the overalls and sets her down in the timeout chair, and it scared the crap out of her and she behaved the rest of the summer. Summer ended and her dad came back from overseas. He came to pick her up and was impressed with how well behaved she was because this kid was literally a monster to everyone before that summer. He then tells my dad how his wife cheated on him and is pregnant with another man's child and that he can't afford to pay us for watching her. We didn't get a single cent for watching her the entire summer. I was pissed because I turned down many legitimate jobs because of that kid. The dad acted like it was no big deal and thanked us for saving his angel from a foster home. The next story is titled Nightmare Tenant That Thinks They Own the House. Cast: Landlord equals LL, Nightmare Tenant equals Sarah, tenant in basement suite. Paul: This started last year. LL was trying to get the Sarah out of their home as they were causing damage to the home. The hearings to get them out did not work and only allowed the Sarah to stay longer than LL wanted. As the months went on, damage was more than what was originally thought. For example, the closet doors were taken or removed, there were holes in walls, the patio had to be repaired because of NT's dogs or Sarah putting up tarps which collected moisture, damaging the wood. The main damage that was noticed by the LL was that the Sarah installed a stripper pole, damaging the hardwood flooring. There was a constant back and forth with hearings to get the Sarah out, both LL and Sarah fighting constantly. There were demands of compensation for unpaid bills. How is that the LL's responsibility? Constant calls for emergency repairs even though there were not really emergencies, demands for discounts on rent, a portion of rent to be deducted from the total, and harassment from the Sarah via texts, emails. The Sarah also claimed that it was now her house since she paid LL's mortgage or rent for 3 or 4 years. Just FYI, it was not a rent to own. Anyways, she claimed appliances were broken, there were leaks in the newly renovated shower, there was no heat and wanted an expensive heater courtesy of the LL, etc. It only got worse. The Sarah started harassing the Paul. It got to the point that Sarah and Paul got into an altercation or assault as the police were called, and they initially believed the Sarah claiming to be a victim. However, the charges that day were dismissed for no evidence. Sarah continued to the police on Paul for no reason. Sarah then began looking into Paul's windows, taking pictures for no reason also. It got to the point where the police stopped believing her and started to believe that Sarah was the real problem. Update: the LL did an inspection of the property after giving 24 hours notice, of course. Sarah invited her family to intimidate LL, and so it was crazy. LL was called names, taunted, and yelled at by the Sarah and family. It seemed like it was all set up. The police weren't called, but LL was left shaken by it. LL was able to get more pictures of the damage. Update 2. Paul had another problem with Sarah. The Paul and Sarah share a laundry suite, and Sarah tried to frame Paul as Sarah's door was open to make it seem like a trespassing violation. It was lucky for Paul that they called the LL and the police to get this settled. It's really sketchy. Paul didn't get into trouble or anything, but the police are getting fed up with Sarah as the police have visited countless times by now. LL has theorized that Sarah wants Paul out of the home as well because Sarah thinks they own it and want the home to themselves. The next story is titled Wanted Me to Deliver a Free Car. I've been sitting on this story for a few years now, but it occurred to me that it fits well in this subreddit. Few years ago I was working in a kitchen with a few other guys. One guy, who for the sake of this story I'll refer to as Ignor, inside joke with me and my friends, had been in desperate need of a car. Around this same time my aunt had gotten a letter from the township telling her she needed to remove the car from her driveway, something about it sitting too long and being uninspected, or they would fine her for every day after a set date. She wanted to get rid of the car, so I let Ignor know. Me. Hey, my aunt's getting rid of a car if you're interested. It's a mid-90s Saturn sedan, still in pretty good shape. Ignor. Yeah, okay, I'll take a look at it and see if it's worth it. Me. Alright, cool, I'll give you her address and tell her you're interested. What day you think you'll go look at it? Ignor. Well, I don't have a car so I can't go on my own to look at it. Do you think you could just take me to look at it? Me. I guess? I've got college classes all week so it would have to be the weekend though. Ignor. I can't do weekends, can't you take me after you get back from your classes? Mind you, I commuted an hour each way to and from college campus, and my aunt lived another 45 minutes away, so I would have been running all over for this idiot. But I gritted my teeth and scratched my head. Me. It would have to be after 5 o'clock. Ignor. Fine, I guess. So we set up a day and go to look at the car. I get him done there to look it over and everything looks good. Car runs strong, fairly new tires, paint's good. Only issue was that it needed brake work done to pass state inspections, which also meant it needed towed. She told him that she didn't want anything for the car, just find a way to get it off her property and pay for the title transfer and it was his. Ignor. Yeah, I really like it, I'll rent a trailer and get my dad to pick it up as soon as I can. I think everything is said and done until Saturday. Ignor comes in for his shift and I ask him how things are going with getting the car moved. Ignor. Well, my dad can't get it, something is wrong with his truck. Your dad has a truck, doesn't he? Can't you get it? I stop for a moment and hesitate. I'll see about it, I said. But you need to get a trailer for the thing. If you can't get it out of there, someone else will. Yeah, no problem, he said. Fast forward another week. My aunt's been texting me all week asking why no one has come to get the car yet, and I keep texting Ignor why he hasn't gotten back to me. He keeps telling me that he keeps forgetting to rent a trailer but he'll get to it as soon as possible. He comes in for his shift on Saturday again and I stop him. Dude, have you gotten a trailer yet? I said. My aunt needs that car out of there by Tuesday. Oh, yeah, he says. I was gonna rent a trailer from Walmart this weekend and get it out if I can get your dad's truck. Okay, first, I said, you're not driving my dad's truck, he'll get it if you can get a trailer. Second, Walmart doesn't rent trailers. Yeah, they do. I know they do. Show me, I said. So for the next hour of his shift he's fumbling with his phone trying to find out how to rent a trailer from Walmart. Spoiler, Walmart doesn't rent trailers. Well, I can't figure it out, he says, but I thought they definitely rented trailers. I sighed and swiped through my phone, and pulled up U-Haul's site. Says here you can get a car trailer for $15 an hour, so go to their site and figure it out. He gave me thus pissy look. Can't you just rent it and I'll pay you back later? Dude, I said, I'm not paying for your ducking trailer. You need to figure it out yourself. I'm already jumping through a lot of hoops to help you. Alright, fine, he said, I'll figure it out I guess. I don't hear from him until Tuesday. It's 5 o'clock at night and he sends me a text. Hey, I'm getting ready to rent a trailer. Does your aunt still have that car? No, dude, sorry, I said, someone came and got it yesterday. Ducking bullcrap was the next text I got from him. You and your aunt knew I wanted that car. Why the duck did you let her get rid of it? Dude, I said, I don't know what to tell you. You had 2 weeks to get the car and I told you it had to be gone today. She had every to get rid of it. After he sent me a very pleasant, duck you, I blocked his number. So yeah, that happened. The next story is titled Have you ever had an experience with a beggar, choosy or regular, that made you less charitable? When I was 18 I was meeting up with my best friend in Dublin city centre. When we met up she seemed upset about something and when I asked her she told me a beggar had asked for a fiver, €5. But when she opened her purse CB changed her mind and demanded a larger amount because she saw my friend had more cash on her. When my friend explained that she couldn't give more than the original request because she had allocated the rest for something else, CB proceeded to berate her and called her a bad Christian. I didn't witness that event firsthand, but it still rubbed me the wrong way. A year later or so, when I was 19, I was walking home from the library one evening when I was approached by two ladies in their mid-20s, I'd say. They had a tale about needing a few euros for the bus home to a town 30 minutes away. I had about €4 in my pocket that I didn't really need, so I gave it to them. They were very grateful about the whole thing, perhaps a little over the top, but whatever. I was studying for my final year secondary school exams, so I was at the library every day after school. A couple of weeks later, the same two ladies with same story approached me at the same zebra crossing as the previous time I'd seen them. I got suspicious and irritated immediately, and even though I had a few coins in my pocket, I told them I didn't have any and proceeded to cross the road. As I was walking away, I heard them running the same play to some unlucky guy who was at the wrong junction at the wrong time. Third and final straw, I was 20. My then GF and I went to a McDonald's on Main Street in Dublin for our broke college students' cheeseburgers and apple pies meal, as we did every Friday. Halfway through our meal, a guy comes upstairs to the sitting area and starts doing the rounds. He had one of those laminated signs with a story about his kid who was sick in hospital, and he was raising funds for medical bills. Eventually he came to our table, greeted us and asked us to read the laminated paper because his English wasn't good. He played heavily into the "poor immigrant seeks help for his sick kid" shtick. I had zero cash on me and I told him so. My GF had a $5 on her that she was planning to use to top up her Leap card, which is a transport card that gives you discounts on public and some private buses, trams and trains. Without the Leap card discount, it would cost her €3 cash to go home from the city center, so she explained she would give the guy €2 and she would get back €3 change. The guy agreed to this, but when it came giving the change, he decided to give out 10-cent, 20-cent and 50-cent coins instead of simplifying it with a €1 and €2 coin combo. He had to dig at the bottom of his bag to find them. We just looked at each other in disbelief. At one point I said, "It would be easier and quicker if you can give us 3 of those €1 coins at the top." He refused, and had the look on his face like I had just insulted him. And let me tell you, from the look of the inside of his coin bag, he was racking it in. The bag was filled with 10, 20 and €50 notes. Eventually he ended up taking out a €1 coin, 2 50-cent coins and the rest in 10-cent coins, and he left abruptly without as much as a thank you. Individually those examples aren't that bad, but when you add it all together, along with the fact that most beggars in Dublin always sit by convenience store entrances and some go as far as to sit next to ATMs, it kind of irks me. And it's hard to trust charities too after reading a few headlines about mismanaged funds, excessive administrative costs and very little actual charity work. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.